Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, let me share with you a big pet peeve that I have. I don't like it when people listen with defensive ears. I don't like it when people hear me or others say stuff that we didn't say. No one is saying corporations are evil. Just because you hear me or someone else say the word corporation, you don't need to extrapolate what I mean by that. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm opposing LB241 not because I think corporations are evil. Yes, I know they create jobs. Yes, I know they drive the economy. I'm not saying corporations are evil. I'm saying I believe in accountability. If a company fails to protect your personal data, they should be responsible for fixing the damage. If an individual makes a financial mistake in Nebraska, they're the ones held responsible. Why should a corporation or a company or an LLC or whatever organization you want to talk about be any different? That's what I'm talking about. LB241 gives big tech and banks and corporations a free pass. It says that even if they are careless with your data and it's their fault, they don't have to face consequences unless you can prove gross negligence. And we've already talked about what an impossible legal standard that is in context of a consumer data breach. In context of what LB241 is talking about, that is an impossible standard for a normal, everyday person to breach. Because if a company has any kind of software in place to protect your data, that probably won't rise to the level of gross negligence because it wasn't intentional on their part. That's the problem with this bill. Colleagues, a true free market only works if there's competition and if there's accountability. But if a company mishandles your private data and you can't sue them and you can't get justice for that, how is that accountability? How is that a fair market? How is that a conservative principle? That's not free market, that's not fair, that's rigging the system, that's government putting their thumb on the scale in favor of the biggest, wealthiest, richest players instead of in favor of Nebraskans. So once again, no one is saying corporations are evil. No one is saying corporations are the big bad guys here. In the case of LB241, the legislature would be the big bad guys because it's our fault that they have these, this kind of leeway to do this stuff with consumer protections. No one is saying corporations are evil, but let's be honest, they don't need more legal shields at the expense of working Nebraskans. We've got people in the lobby, they come in here, they take us to lunch, they come by our offices, they spend millions of dollars in this country lobbying lawmakers like us to get special treatment. So why should we pass a law making it easier for them to avoid personal responsibility? Small businesses, businesses like mine, we don't get this kind of immunity. Your personal data, colleagues, is your property. It's your property, it's your information. When companies mishandle it, they're failing to protect something that belongs to you. If someone stole your personal property, you would expect to be able to take legal recourse. And if a company loses your financial data because of their own negligence, why shouldn't you be able to hold them accountable? That's all this opposition is about. It's not about hating corporations, it's not about punishing businesses, it's about protecting Nebraskans from financial harm. I think all of us here share the view, in concept if not practice, that government shouldn't be picking winners and losers. We argue that government shouldn't interfere in business too much, but that includes not tilting the scales to protect big corporations from consumer lawsuits. Bills like this aren't about letting the market decide. They aren't about, laissez-faire capitalism. They're about making it harder for consumers to fight back when they are harmed. If a company's doing the right thing, they won't be sued. There you have it. But if they're negligent, they should be held accountable. They should be held responsible. It's that simple. This isn't free market. This isn't a conservative principle. It's corporate favoritism, and Nebraskans deserve better. Thank you, Mr. President.